That's a map of New Zealand. I suppose the question you could ask is, where is Old Zealand? Zealand used to be part of the Holy Roman Empire. That was created by Charlemagne around 800 AD. Every United States president is apparently related to Charlemagne. The capital city of Zealand was Middelburg, and that was the home port of VOC, the Dutch East India Trading Company. Abel Tasman discovered New Zealand a little bit after the locals. If you have a look at the map, you sort of get the impression he knew where to go. He worked for VOC. This is the directors of the VOC. This is one of the directors, and they have a painting with a funny hand signal. If you watch my other video, it explains that. The unusual thing, that funny hand signal, this bloke here's got the same one. If we use Google Earth and go and have a look at Middelburg, that was the old home port of the Dutch East India Company, VOC. That was when it was the Zealand. You have a look at the town today, it's actually got a big star fort all around the town. And just having a nosy round town, there's a octagon shaped building there. Go and have a look at it, it's a little bit strange. It's got two Egyptian obelisks outside. Got a bit of a Roman look about it. Not quite sure what it was used for. A little bit strange, it's got a dead body above the doorway, a skeleton. Then it's got fish-tailed woman, which is the same as what you get on the Starbucks coffee shops. Then up above that, you've actually got quite a big eagle. Might have been a USA Starbucks coffee shop. Bit strange, the skeleton over the door. But the whole town is one big star fort. The Dutch East India Company was the largest corporation in the world at the time, and they built a town at the bottom of Africa, Cape Town in South Africa, and they built a star fort there as well, which is still there today. It's a pentagon-shaped one. Sort of reminds you of another Pentagon building, doesn't it? That's Cape Town, South Africa. And the VOC built a whole lot of star forts in Sri Lanka. If you go and have a look in Sri Lanka, there's several of them. This one here is a four-sided one. It's still there today. Yeah, a little bit overgrown with the trees, but you can still make it out. It's a four-sided star fort. It's another four-sided one. It's a little bit hidden in the trees. And you go to the other side of Sri Lanka, there's another one, quite a big one. It's a five-sided star fort. Yeah, it's a pentagon-shaped one. Sort of reminds you of another pentagon-shaped building. I suppose you wonder whether they copied the design or it's just owned by the same people. You go round to another part of Sri Lanka. There's another star fort, four-sided one, quite a big one. The VOC seemed quite keen on building their star forts. Is one of the bosses of the VOC. He built a star fort in Taiwan. It's actually called the Zealandia. It's a little bit hidden under the trees. That's an old photo of it. It's another pentagon-shaped one. It's still there today. If you go and have a look, it's actually got the VOC symbol on the stairway. Makes you wonder what the VOC has got to do with New Zealand. If you go and have a look in New Zealand, in quite a remote little town in New Zealand, there's actually a four-sided star fort. They tell all the local people it was a British fort used to fight the local Maoris during the Maori Wars after the 1840s. It's called Alexander Redoubt, but it's actually a four-sided star fort. Here's a better photo of it. There's actually a Egyptian obelisk next to it to commemorate the soldiers that died during the Maori Wars. This is Captain Cook, who discovered New Zealand after Abel Tasman, and he actually had a bloke on the boat called Joseph Banks, who actually worked for the City of London. Back in 1660, VOC were going to build a town on Manhattan Island, and later on they changed its name to New York. But the plan was to have a four-sided star fort, and there's a park at the end of the financial district called Battery Park that goes back to the VOC days. If you have a look, it's not actually in Battery Park, but you go over to the little island, and there we go. There's a star fort there. One assumes it was put there by the VOC. And at the time, one of the big bankers was Cosimo de' Medici. They were a big banking family out of Italy. You've got to wonder who was involved in building all that.